Hello, wonderful people. I am so excited to come your way again today. Today, I am here to talk about managing up. Managing up, right? Remember, this channel, we talk about all things career, all things parenting, all things God. So there could be days that we'll be talking about the Bible, we'll be praying, whatever it is, right? But the most important thing that is that we are advancing in all facets of our lives. And so today, our topic is managing up. All right, managing up. I never learned this. Growing up, I don't think I really wasn't surrounded by a lot of professionals, so I didn't even know what it means to be managed up, right? And I think you get a job in corporate America and you go in and you expect that your work will speak for itself, and because of that, by merit, you will be promoted. And sadly, many of us realize that is not the case. So what are some things that I have done to be able to move up in my career? When one of those things is managing up, right? So when you hear managing up, I don't want you to think that you are managing your boss, like your boss is managing you. No, it is not your job to find your boss his or her next career path. That is not what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about today is how do you build a very fruitful, a very understanding and impactful relationship and positive relationship with your manager in a way that serves you. Yes, you have to be the driver of your career with God backing you, of course, in prayer. But you have to be the driver of your career and be able to, leverage the relationships that you have to advance your career. So one of the things that I have done is manage up. So the official definition of managing up is developing a positive working relationship with your manager. But I have added the fact that you are developing the positive working relationship to advance your career. So let's add that in the definition, right? It's all about advancing my career. Yes, you can be selfish a little bit. So what are some of the tips that I have used to manage up? One of the first things that I do is I anticipate the needs of my manager. I do not let my manager tell me what to do before I do it. When I'm in meetings with my manager, I listen very closely. Sometimes when I have the privilege of joining my manager on other calls, I listen closely. I listen to things related to what he or she is about to do, right? What is coming down the pipeline? What are some of the priorities that are coming down so that I can prepare myself? So for example, if I hear on a call that my manager has a presentation on mergers coming up, what I do is I research, I figure out everything that I can about that particular merger, and I present a paper to my manager to say, hey, these are the 5 or 3 things that I think you should consider when you are presented on that merger case, right? Why? Because I want to own and keep and maintain, right, the positive space in my manager's mind. I want my manager to constantly think of me as the person that would solve his or her problems. And I want you to do the same. So the first thing is we anticipate the needs of our managers. The second thing is we are proactive, right? So again, I in a way I can explain this. I don't wait. I hear and I do. I see and I do, right? I don't wait for my manager to come to me to say, Afia, go do this. Nope, that's not what we are doing in 2025. In 2025, we are the drivers in our careers. We pray and we go into the driver's seat. And so when we hear something coming up the line, we do it, right? We do the research, we do the presentation, we stay an extra hour at our jobs to make sure that we are delivering excellent work and work that our manager would need for the future, right? So that's the second tip. And then the third tip is communication, but being very specific in the way we communicate with our managers. So one of the things I do is every time I communicate to my manager, I always try to emphasize when something was accomplished, how it was accomplished, who I worked with, right? Why? Because my manager could be in another call and my manager could be asked, hey, give me an update on that thing, right? So the minute that comes up, my manager has the information, she can easily say, okay, I know, boom, 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 because she's already received the information from me and she can relay it. So I'm making my manager's life easier. That's the most important thing, right? So we communicate in a way that makes their life easier. So after we've anticipated and we are proactive in solving that need of our manager, we communicate it to them so that when the need comes up, they can quickly jump on and make the necessary changes, or they can share that broadly. And then the fourth tip is being flexible. Being flexible. We all know corporate America, there could be a day that you are focused on one thing, and then in the next 30 minutes, you are focused on another thing. If your manager comes to you and says, I need you to stop working on project A and focus on project D, what you say is, yes, I got it, right? We all want to be around people who will make our lives easier. We will make our lives easier. You see, I keep emphasizing on the fact that making your manager's lives easier. And that is what we have to do. So when the manager says, I no longer want you to focus on this, absolutely. You say, yes, I'm going to focus on project D. And then you stay and you make sure that you do and deliver excellent work for project D. Okay. And then the fifth thing that I do is at the end of the quarter, I send my manager a recap of all the things that I have done and the successes that I have achieved in that quarter. So if your manager's name is Michael, you say, hey, Michael, in this quarter, I had a very fruitful quarter. I just wanted you to know some of the things that I have done. And you say, point one, right? I connected with, this colleague, and because of that relationship, we're able to, deliver this project 10 days earlier. You want to make sure that you're in your recap of the successes that you have achieved in the quarter, you are being very quantitative as much as possible. Where you can prove the quantitative value, please go ahead, do that. And this is a skill that I had to learn. I am naturally not a person that likes to talk about my successes or like to talk about the things that I do, but I realized that if you do not get far in your career and in life, right? So you have to find a way at the end of each quarter to be able to tell your manager all the good things that you have done. And it's also a check for you. If I know that at the end of the quarter, I'm going to tell my manager something, then I have to also make sure that I deliver impactful work so that I can report out, right? So it's also a check for you to make sure that you are delivering very impactful work as you go along. And then let me end by giving you some statistics on the importance of managing up and the benefits, right, of managing up. So according to a leaders survey, 88% of professionals believe that managing up is crucial for career success. 81% of professionals believe that it is important for securing pay raises. And then 86 also believe that it leads to promotion. So if you want to get promoted in 2025, if you want to secure that pay raise, and also if you want to have success in your career, you have to learn to manage up. And I hope that these 5 tips that I have given you from my own life will help you. Let's go over the tips again, right? So the first one is we anticipate the needs of our managers. The second one is we are proactive in the way we solve their problems. Then the third one is we communicate very clearly with clear when and hows, right, of what has been done to help solve that need. And then the fourth one is we communicate, we already talked about communication. The fourth one is we are flexible. So we are able to move and adapt as our manager needs us to be. And then the fifth one is at the end of each quarter, we communicate back out to our managers the quantitative impact that we've had, right? And then we track that email so that at the end of the year, when you have to do your report, it's easy. You can just grab and put it in there. And then your manager also will be able to do that. And remember, the goal of doing all of this is to increase the positive share of your manager's mind. So if right now you only have 5% of a positive share of your manager's mind, we want to make sure that by the end we get to December 31st, you are at 100%. And I believe it, right? We will pray for wisdom. We will pray for discipline. We will pray that God will give us favor. But above that, we will also put in the work. We will be proactive. We will anticipate the needs and we will communicate communicate well. And we will also learn how to talk about the good things that God is doing through our lives. I hope you've learned something new today, and I cannot wait to come your way again. Have a wonderful and a productive work week. Bye.